Hey, it's Joseph here again from the Contextual Behavioral Science lab at UCD, and welcome back to the second installment in our series on procrastination. If you haven't already seen it already, go and check out our first video, which is about getting in touch with some of the thoughts, the feelings that pop up for you when you're procrastinating. Because in this video, we're going to be looking a little bit more at what we can do to stop those thoughts from having as big of an influence over what we do. So a little bit of practicing unhooking and breaking free of the influence of those thoughts in this video. So just taking up a comfortable position, allowing the feet to be flat on the floor. And if it feels okay to you, just allowing the eyes to close. If it feels more comfortable, just adopting a gentle gaze onto the floor in front of you. It can be helpful just to move the back away from the back of the chair so that your spine is self-supporting. And just taking up a position that supports your intention to be here, to be present. And once you've found that position that feels comfortable but supports your intention to be here, just imagining yourself sitting beside a gently flowing stream with leaves floating along the surface of the water. And for the next few moments, just taking each thought that enters your mind and placing it on a leaf, allowing it to float by. And as best you can, doing this with each thought, regardless of whether it's a positive thought, whether it's negative, pleasurable or painful. Even if you happen to find yourself having the most wonderful of all thoughts, just taking that thought and placing them on a leaf, letting them float by. And from time to time you may find that your thoughts stop for a moment or two. And again, just as best you can, continuing to watch the stream, sooner or later you'll find that your thoughts start up again. Just as you sit here, allowing that stream to flow at its own pace, resisting as best you can any urge to speed up or to rush your thoughts along. Because our attention here isn't to rush the leaves along or to get rid or escape your thoughts. You're just allowing them to come and go at their own pace. Just allowing them to be here as they are. Maybe you're finding thoughts popping up like, this is stupid, I'm bored, I'm not doing this right. If those thoughts are here for you right now, just placing those thoughts on a leaf too. Again, allowing them to pass by. Every now and again you may find that a leaf gets stuck. So just allowing it to hang around until it's ready to float by. If that thought pops up again, just simply watching it float by another time. You might be finding yourself having difficult or painful feelings showing up for you right now. And again, just gently acknowledging them. And these are all perfectly normal feelings to be showing up right now. You're not doing anything wrong if they're here for you at this moment. And again, as best you can, placing those thoughts, those feelings, those sensations that might be in the body onto a leaf and allowing them to float by. Every so often you might find a thought that's really grappling for your attention, that really hooks you or distracts you and takes you away from being present in this exercise. And again, this is perfectly normal. It's just with the mind doing what it does. But in that moment that you're noticing that you've become sidetracked or pulled away by a particular thought, just acknowledging that thought that took you away and gently guiding yourself without judgment back to the exercise and back to the stream. So just taking this time to take a step away from struggling and battling your thoughts, to try something different, to observe and just allow your thoughts to be here. And find that your mind gets hooked on thoughts again and again, just with as much compassion and kindness as you can offer yourself, reminding yourself that this is normal, acknowledging that thought that took you away, and just returning to the exercise again in your own time. Just now, as we move towards the end of this exercise, just taking a moment just to check in with yourself. Noticing the overall mood. Naming that for yourself if you can. At your own pace and in your own time, beginning to become aware of the space in the room around you again. The sights and sounds in that room. Allowing the eyes to open when you feel ready. Maybe just taking a gentle stretch. So there's a little bit to that exercise, but if you're looking for something a little bit more snappy that you can kind of pull out really quickly when you're really tangled up and really bogged down in a thought, even something as simple as putting the phrase "I'm having the thought that" on front of the thought can just give you a little bit more space. So you're having the thought that I'm a failure, I'm no good. So just taking that little phrase, I'm having the thought that I'm a failure, I'm having the thought that I'm no good, just creates a small bit more space. And you can even extend it out even more. So adding in I'm noticing. So now it's I'm noticing I'm having the thought that I'm a failure. I'm noticing I'm having the thought that I'm no good. So again, just creating that little bit of space so you're not sort of blinded and bogged down by your thought. Just that little bit of space and room to move and room to choose what you want to do in that moment. So that thought doesn't need to have that same influence over what you do. So that's kind of all for this latest installment of our series on procrastination. As ever, please do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what comes next. And then very lastly, once again, just best of luck on your escape from procrastination.